And next up, we will have Dr. Kongsak Tanpachir. He is the chairman of the Buddhist Council of Greater St. Louis. He's a member of the Thai Buddhist Temple in Florissant, Wat Pasi Ratanaram, where he teaches meditation and mindfulness. His topic today is mindfulness for stressful times. Dr. Kongsak?
Hello, good morning. Take you to see how mindfulness has been helpful for the stressful time. First, we'll identify the four major stressors in life, like catastrophe. You have like a flat tire when you're ready to go to work, or car accident, ambient problem like the air is very cloudy in Southeast Asia these past few years from the PM 2.5, which is smaller than the red cell, they're 2.5 micron. Then now we have COVID-19, they're invisibly invisible, unlike the PM 2.5, invisibly invisible. So this one is even smaller, 0.1 micron or 100 nanometer, from causing daily hassle and significant life change like closure and lockdown and so on, as you have been experienced in the past. And then this has effect on your lifestyle with stress. It causes emotional and behavioral problems, as well as depression, anger. People who had ready to fight, or people who fight would have anxiety, and people who have poor coping would have addiction to drug or food, whatever. It has effect on the brain as well. Frontal cortex, the neurons start to get atrophy, and also amygdala, which deal with emotional memory, also get atrophic in PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. So the new stress is even different environment now. We do multitasking, and it end up like lower overall productivity. You jump from one thing to the other, constantly and rapidly switching between tasks, and cause more mistakes, and could not filter out irrelevant information, and impossible to take breaks. You end up with burnout and long hours and constant connectivity. You cannot be left alone, cannot zero in what is important. So mindfulness, rooted in Buddhism, has found a way into the mainstream by proving to be beneficial in solving those problems above. It helps people to clear their mind, refresh themselves, and freeing them mental space for creativity and big thinking, with ability to concentrate and ignore distraction. Innumerable mindfulness classes has been conducted, offered at to de-stress with great success among major operations like Google, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and General Mills, as well as gaining acceptance by Silicon Valley entrepreneur, Fortune 500 titans, as well as the Pentagon chiefs and Capitol Hill staff. It didn't happen accidentally. Back in 1979, about 40 years ago, John Kabat-Zinn, his PhD in biochemistry, attended Vipassana Insight Meditation Retreat at IMS, Insight Meditation Society in Barre, Massachusetts. At the end of the retreat, he came up with the bright idea that he can apply mindfulness to help people. So he draw up programs to called MBSR, which turned out be helpful in fibromyalgia, chronic pain, anxiety disorder, depression, psoriasis, and help to with the treatment of cancer. So he reported in medical journals. Initially, like only two appear in a peer-reviewed journal, two of them, but now it's over 100 articles appear about MBSR. So there are more than 700 MBSR centers in medical school worldwide, especially in the US. And mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, MBCT also has been applied to psychotherapy as well. And the first mindfulness division has been established at U of Mass in Worcester, Massachusetts on February 22nd, 2018. At least 15 proven mindfulness benefit by research. First, control your temper, fending off your depression, reduce worrying anxiety, setting boundaries and say no, lose weight, lower daily stress, fall asleep faster, increase focus and concentration, be a better listener, enjoy sex more, lower blood pressure, be more assertive, deepen your spiritual life, whether you're Christian or Islamic, it helps you to do that. And stick with your goal and be a better leader. So there are things that happen with the mindfulness meditation. The nonprofit Maya, this is started by Goldie Hawn, the famous actor, as well as Mindful School, with steady increase in number of teachers seeking the guidance in recent years. Maya has reached 500,000 students around the world for the last decade. And Mindful School has reached 3 million in 100 countries. We are internet teacher, especially now. A dozen or so curriculum has been drawn up in Great Britain on mindfulness education, especially in elementary school. And mindfulness has been helpful, like in Great Britain, in England, 1 out of 7 kids below the age 14 have anxiety and depression. Mindfulness helpful to help them get out of anxiety, depression. And mindfulness meditation has replaced detention in Baltimore Elementary School since 4 years ago. The average British can participate in one of the more 800 mindfulness meditation courses currently offered around the country. Also, a member of the parliament, British member of parliament launched an all-party group exploring usefulness of mindfulness meditation in healthcare, education, and criminal justice system. And over 95 member of parliament there and parliament staff also meet regularly for mindfulness meditation course taught within the parliament over a year and end up with less stress and increasing compassion. And in this country, Tim Ryan, a Democratic congressman, also started mindfulness session and lecture series on the Capitol Hill, nonpartisan, for a House member and their staff. This happened at least about 10 years now. In war and peacetime, mindfulness training in US military since 2014. They train military personnel that go out to the Middle East war to help them deal with stress, and they get better, have keenness in seeing things, danger and so on. So reduce the rate of stress-related health condition, including PTSD, depression, and anxiety. So the year 2014 has been dubbed the year of mindfulness. I think we all missed that, right? And there are about near 10 million Americans that practice some form of meditation, especially mindfulness meditation. And right now we feel fear with the COVID-19 and how mindfulness and awareness will help you. So Thich Nhat Hanh said, fear keep us focused on the past and worry about the future. So we're trapped in the thought of the past and the future. If we acknowledge our fear, you're back to the present, we can realize that right now we are okay. Right now, today, we're still alive and our bodies are working marvelously. Our eye can still see the beautiful sky. Our ear can still hear the voice of our loved one. Thich Nhat Hanh, great teacher. So basically, we're trapped in the thought of the past or future. When you deal with thought, you deal with space and time. Think of the past or in the future, and with this and that location and so on. You're in the conceptual or virtual phenomena. And Buddhism make a distinction between conceptual phenomena and ultimate phenomena, which is the present moment. Past is gone, the Buddha stated, and future hasn't arrived. So don't waste time in there. That's called avijja, or ignorance. You trap in the thought of the past or in the future. Sometimes thought of past kind of roll into the future, like you want to take vengeance on someone who did something bad to you, as you're entrapped in those. And you're not seeing the present moment, basically. It's deal with dependent arising or law of causation. This exists, therefore that exists, and that causes another thing to follow, and so on in the cycle. So you don't see that, you become trapped in your ignorance. And also you're not seeing the full ultimate truth or full noble truth. You don't see there's a cause of suffering that end up with suffering as the result. And you don't know or learn about the middle path to end suffering, that we practice to end suffering. So these are the 8 ignorance that people usually get trapped in there and end up with biased thoughts in space and time there. So what is fear? Basically, it's a form of bias. There are 4 bias or prejudice that the Buddha described: bias with greed, or desire partiality. They think might be good, give you a drive, but on the opposite, you're biased with hatred and enmity. And then there are also bias with your ego, delusion, or stupidity, basically. And then bias with fear. So the 4 bias that we deal with. Sometimes it's like a monster chasing you, your tiny guy there. But sometimes enemy can be so small you can't even see, like a COVID-19, 100 nanometer, 0.1 micron, that we have to deal with this day. This in Dika Nikaya, Anguttara Nikaya. So why we meditate? Because we suffer our own thoughts. So basically, we trap in the thought that and be biased with greed, hatred, and delusion. So the Buddha described mind as luminous, tainted with transitory, emphasize transitory mental impurities. It's not the true nature of the mind, but you invite this transitory of greed, hatred, delusion that conditioned your mind, tainted your mind. So you end up with the consequence of greed, hatred, delusion through your biased thoughts. Somehow that's up. Sorry about it. So the Buddha described how the mind function is in the 4 foundations of mindfulness. He said, we perceive things through the 6 sense sphere, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind, with the corresponding consciousness, like eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nasal consciousness, and so on. It causes contact with external environment, causes feeling, pure perception, and then we have bias perception that we talk about, those 4 bias. End up with craving with sensual desire, liking or disliking, which is basically the second noble truth, cause of suffering. End up with disturbing thought and obsessive thought as a second noble truth, cause of suffering. And because we build up this I tag, a self-image hologram, like my house, my car, my girlfriend, boyfriend, and my ego, basically. And then mindfulness and self-awareness basically has a great function to slice this off, stop the pure perception into biased perception. If you, by practicing mindfulness meditation, you can basically end the suffering. No self, no suffering. You kill the ego or I concept, self-image hologram. So what is mindfulness? Basically, John Kabat-Zinn put it down very simply: paying attention to the present moment with intention while letting go of judgment. So non-judgmental, experiencing as if your life depends on it. You can see like mindfulness has been very popular. Every week there's some journal about a magazine or article about mindfulness. When you talk about mindfulness, there are two components there, mindfulness and self-awareness. Mindfulness like self-recollection and self-remembrance. Self-awareness is like clear comprehension, clear knowing, full awareness, conscious awareness without bias. These are virtual great benefit, the combination of the two. So we address mindfulness basically is a combination of these two. So mindfulness basically like seize or retrieve the phenomena. Like you go to the airport, they say, or you flying this flight, go to terminal A or C, whatever. That's like mindfulness. Take you there, retrieve it. And then self-awareness, like investigate the phenomenon, like a TSA agent. They put you through X-ray machine. Also, like they have a scanner to see what's in your back and so on. So it's like that. They work together. So without self-awareness, you only just focus on things. You don't gain any wisdom. So self-awareness is like immediate wisdom in this present moment, right in front of you. With perseverance, self-awareness, and mindfulness, that's the Buddha emphasized. Atapi sampachanno satima. You self-observe, self-monitoring of your body, feeling, mind, mental phenomena, to get rid of desiring, undesiring. So this is the basis of 4 foundations of mindfulness. And he said, supreme path that purify all beings. Let one transcend grief, sorrow, lamentation. Let one overcome suffering and unhappiness. And basically understand essential Dharma, the middle path or unbiased path. Realize Nirvana, unconditioned state, or ultimate peace and happiness. So how do we practice that? Is why we practice through reverse engineering. Is a reverse engineering technique to catch our thought as it arises. This is how I told you earlier, like we perceive through the 6 sense sphere, eye, nose, tongue, body, and mind. And 4 foundations basically oversee all this. A life form consists of 5 parts or 5 aggregates: body or form, feeling, perception, thought formation, and consciousness. And this body and mind, these are mental activities, which the consciousness of mind has no form, formless. So we do a 4 foundation of self-observation of your body and the form. Feeling, you observe your feeling. Perception is basically mindful awareness that you observe in these 4 foundations. Mental phenomena, you observe the thought formation. And consciousness is the mind that you observe. So basically you observe your life. And how do you do that? Basically, as I mentioned, self-observation, self-monitoring of your body, feeling, mind, mental phenomena. With perseverance, constant effort, practice 24/7, self-awareness and mindfulness to get rid of desiring, undesiring nature in your mind. Practice day and night, formal practice. You can do half an hour, 15 minutes, and so on. Or informal practice, that's in your daily life. You got to be ready when you step on the ring. So whatever you encounter, being unbiasedly observed. Do not anticipate, do not indulge in what you encounter, especially the thought. Do not intervene, just see it unbiasedly. And practice with joy and bliss. Because joy will lead to bliss, lead to your calming of your body and mind, which is suitable for happiness to arrive. When your mind is happy, it's conducive for steady mind to occur. When you have steady mind, you gain mental concentration, tranquility. Energize your mind to gain your insight turn into insight wisdom, and see the true nature of things as they really are in the vision. So basically, when you practice perseverance, self-awareness, and mindfulness, you gain this 5 powers or resiliency, basically like confidence in the practice and the wisdom of the Buddha. Energy, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. This is a 5 power pack, very important in your practice. It will break through with this 5 power pack. As it turned out, resiliency in kids, they found like in grade school, kids from different family, some are doing very well, some are not doing very well. And they found this 4 major factors that involve confidence and intelligence, like wisdom in the 5 power pack, and problem solving and forward thinking, which basically you need mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom to have able to do problem solving and forward thinking. So mindful awareness and loving kindness is something that we have to practice this day. Wearing masks is an act of love, loving kindness, basically, or empathy, not only to other people, to yourself as well, not to contract COVID-19, also prevent other people from getting it. If we have positive COVID-19 without knowing, because 35% doesn't have any symptoms, and not to contract from other people too. There's a study that show like when you cough or sneeze, you can have droplets that go aerosol droplet up to 12 feet, and sometimes even 20 feet, and can hang on for an hour or longer. So 6 feet is basically not really suitable, but it's better than nothing. So wearing masks, it prevents you from those droplets to travel further, maybe within a foot there. Or in the room, small particle can, even you talk, especially when you're singing, can go further and stay in the air for hours. So like in Mount Vernon, Washington State, in March, one person with COVID positive infected 52 out of 60 people in the same choir. 87% got infected. So they suggest to avoid groups like in bar, nightclubs, and so on. Stay at least 6 feet apart and wear face masks. And recently, on July 31st, about 600 kids went to a camp, Georgia summer camp, and about 75.6% become infected from a negative turning to positive, especially young kids, 6 to 10, or have been infected. 11 to 17, 44% infected. 18, 21, 1/3 or 33% infected. Older one is about 22, only 2 of 7 positive. So I recommend distancing. R0 is like infectivity is 2.5, between 2 or 3. Sometimes in tight place can be 6 to 10, depending on places, and asymptomatic is 35%. So empathy as wearing masks, also emphasizing, is a part of this 4 holy abiding: loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, or altruistic joy, and equanimity. So basically, it's part of the mirror neuron that we all have in the prefrontal cortex and anterior cingulate cortex. And basically, Buddha also described that we have Buddha nature. Buddha sees in everybody, regardless of age, sex, race, nationality, literacy, dialect, profession, even religious belief. So there are studies that show that when you practice, people who never practice have negative emotion. It lit up on the right side of the prefrontal cortex. The people who practice mindfulness meditation, it lit up on the opposite side, left prefrontal cortex, which related to happiness. And when you immunize those people, they end up with people who have those mindfulness meditators have a higher antibody titer than those who never practice. And it correlates with the left side of the brain, as I showed earlier, on the functional MRI scan, the magnitude of the antibody response to the flu vaccine. There's some change in the brain cortex as well, increase the thickness of prefrontal cortex, as well as the right anterior insula. which deal with mindfulness and cognitive awareness. Also, brainwave also show when you practice mindfulness meditation, it runs through gamma wave very fast. Because the beta waves is when you think 12 to 38 hertz. But with mindful meditation inside, you gain 80 to 90 hertz. So you can see your thought all the time when you're fasted. And sometimes some people can reach 100 or 200, which you deal with very rare self-awareness. But if you practice this tranquility, you may end up with very low, like a quarter to half hertz, like under the thought. You think you're peaceful, but you don't see your thoughts. When you come out of meditation, you're sometimes more angry because the thought kind of like overwhelm you. So there's some pro-inflammatory genes that are being now regulated when you practice mindfulness meditation. And the cortisol recovery is faster in such condition. In social stress, like giving speech or tasks that require mental concentration. And mindfulness meditation have rapid operation in this epigenetic effect. Besides that, they found people who practice meditation, they found a normal telomere in your chromosome. The telomere gets shorter as you age. So it's a signal that you're getting old and maybe dying soon when the telomere gets shorter and shorter. So they found people in the 50-year-old range, when they practice meditation for at least 10 years. Their telomere is as long as people who never practiced at 30 years old. So you probably very likely can lengthen your life longevity by at least 20 years through practice mindfulness meditation. So when you practice meditation, you see the true nature of things. Physically, you can see an infant, a toddler, adolescents, young age, middle age, old age, and die. Physically, you can see change like that as impermanence, imperfection, selflessness, three universal marks of existence. Mentally, it's harder to see that we are like selfless in nature and is formless. And the Buddha described mind as formless, travel far in your thoughts. So you need practice mindfulness meditation to see this and see the three universal mark of instability, unbearable, uncontrollable. So when you see that, what happened? See true nature of thing, you become selfless, soulless. See that it's but self-image hologram. It's not truly exist. It's temporary existing because to deal with the environment. You become disenchanted, discern, and liberate through such practice. No self, no suffering. So mindfulness basically has become invaluable tools in the new stressful environment, and would be a skill required in the 21st century to survive, to be successful. So mindfulness also free one's mind from bias, from creative delusion and fear, as we mentioned earlier, and helps to protect and prevent oneself and others from harm and danger, like wearing masks, and allow one to perceive the true nature of things as unbiasedly, as they really are, and make a right decision correctly and properly, and swiftly as well. And the highest benefit, it free you intellectually, mentally, and emotionally from disease, stress, and suffering. So basically, I want to introduce you to the rhythmic dynamic meditation. You can circle your finger, you try it now, between your thumb and your index. You can sense it. That's self-awareness. Open and close your fist. You sense that feeling. That's self-awareness. You put your palm together, touch your tip, slide your tip of your 10 fingers together, and then you feel that. That's self-awareness. And the technique is put your palms on your knees, tilt your right palm up, you're aware of it. Bring it up, you're aware of it. Bring it down to your tummy, you're aware of it. Tilt your left palm up, bring it up, aware of it. Bring it down to your tummy. Slide your right palm up, aware of it. Bring it down, you're aware of it. Bring it down, you're aware of it. And left palm, bring it up, bring it out, bring it down, turn it down. So basically, there's 14 steps there. Basically, it's a method to become aware of yourself by using 14 steps of your hands. It's like walking meditation, but more complex, more steps into there, besides left and right. And when you practice this, basically, you can practice incorporate your daily life, because we move all the time. It becomes 24/7 mindfulness meditation. And the benefit, you get insights, you become aware of yourself externally, internally, and you see phenomena, physical phenomena arise and cease, or basically see impermanence, imperfection, selflessness. Acknowledge mindful awareness of your body, just the body, no person, no being, no self. Avoid craving and concept, not cling to anything in this world, through aware of your body. When you're aware of your body, it awakens your body. It's very simple, but it's very powerful. Similarly, you observe your feeling of happiness, unhappiness, or neutral feelings. Observe your mind, whether your mind full of bias, greed-headed delusion, or greed-headed delusion, manic or depressed, or steady or unsteady, liberate or not liberate, and so on. So aware your mind, it awakens your mind. And then the same with the mental phenomena, you basically see all your thoughts and concepts that arise in your body and mind. By practicing this, you end up with perseverance, self-awareness, and mindfulness on your body, feeling, mind, mental phenomena, or the four foundations. You get rid of desiring, undesiring nature of your mind. And you end up with seeing the three universal mark systems: unstable, unbearable, uncontrollable, impermanence, imperfection, selflessness. You're leading you to insight wisdom with strengthened mind, steady mind. You turn wisdom into insight wisdom. See the burden of life that you cling to, the five aggregates: body, feeling, mind, and mental phenomena. You practice in these four aspects of life. And then you see that self-image hologram that you've been carrying around become disenchanted, discern, and liberate. So that's the final goal in Buddhism that everyone can reach with your Buddha nature already dwelling in everyone. So I think that's the end of my thought. Thank you.
Thank you very much.